It all started with a blinding flash, an eruption on the surface of the sun that was so powerful it sent a tidal wave of charged particles hurtling through space straight towards planet Earth. What followed next was pure chaos. The night sky lit up with ominous shades of red and green. Telegraph machines sparked and caught fire, and for one brief and terrifying moment it seemed as if the whole world was ending. But this wasn't a supernatural event or even a Martian invasion. This was a solar storm, unlike anything that's ever been seen before or since. A space storm so powerful that if it happened again today, it would almost certainly bring our entire technological civilization to its knees. This is the bizarre but true story of the Carrington Event, the most powerful solar storm ever recorded in human history. On the morning of the 1st of September 1859, amateur astronomer Richard Carrington climbed into his private observatory just outside of London, England. His goal was simple: to study the sun, but the terrifying events that he witnessed that morning would go down in history forever. Using his brass telescope, Carrington began sketching sunspots, the dark patches of the sun's surface which are caused by intense magnetic activity. But then, something completely unexpected appeared. Two blindingly bright patches of light erupted from the sunspots, lights that were so brilliantly bright that Carrington was momentarily blinded by them. What he'd just seen weren't ordinary flares, though. They were something far more violent. Within minutes, the intense solar lights faded, but Carrington knew that he'd just witnessed something extraordinary. What he didn't know was at that very moment, a massive explosion of solar plasma was racing its way towards Earth at nearly 5 million miles an hour. The next day, when it hit, the world changed. On the night of the 2nd of September, the skies erupted in an incredible blaze of colour. Auroras, normally only visible near the poles, stretched across the planet, illuminating the night sky from Canada to the Caribbean, from Hawaii to Chile. The glow was so intense that people in Boston could even read their newspapers outside at midnight. The birds began singing through the night, fooled into thinking that dawn had already arrived. In South Carolina, the sky even turned an ominous shade of blood red, with one woman describing it as if the sea had turned into fire. But this light show was just the beginning. The real terrors struck when the world's telegraph systems failed catastrophically. The telegraph lines, which were cutting-edge technology at the time, began to spark uncontrollably. Their operators were electrocuted as great arcs of fire shot out unpredictably from their equipment. Papers burst into flames from rogue electrical surges pulsing through the rooms they sat in. In some cases, the current in the lines became so strong that operators could send messages, even after completely disconnecting their power sources, using just the raw energy coursing through the air around them. By the end of the morning, the damage was clearly widespread. Entire communication networks had completely collapsed, and the telegraph operators all across North America and Europe struggled in vain to restore their connections. Some even believed that they were witnessing the end of days. As for Richard Carrington, he had no idea that his terrifying discovery would later go on to be named after him, but his observations provided the first real connections between solar activity and geomagnetic mayhem that they can cause down here on Earth. The Carrington Event, as it came to be known, remains one of the most powerful geomagnetic storms ever recorded even today. But here's where things get even more terrifying. What if the same thing happened again today? The world of 1859 was vastly different from today's hyper-connected, electricity-dependent society. Back then, the most advanced technologies were the telegraph machines, but in today's world, a solar storm of the same magnitude would be absolutely catastrophic. Modern power grids, GPS systems, satellite communications, and even the internet itself all rely on intricate electrical networks that span across the globe, networks that happen to be highly vulnerable to the types of geomagnetic pulse that struck back in 1859. Scientists today estimate that a direct hit from a Carrington-level event could wipe out satellites, disable GPS systems, disrupt aviation, and even knock entire nations off of the power grid for months, or possibly even years on end. The chaos that this would cause to human civilization is barely imaginable. In 2008, a report from the National Academy of Sciences estimated the economic cost of such an event as being between at least $1 and $2 trillion in the first year alone. A worst-case scenario could even see food and water supplies cut off entirely, with hospitals losing power and the financial markets grinding to a halt before collapsing entirely. So, could it really happen again? Absolutely. In fact, it almost did. Back in July 2012, a solar storm nearly as powerful as the Carrington Event erupted from the Sun. It was a direct hit, but on empty space. But had the same flare happened to be aimed towards the Earth, then the consequences would have been absolutely devastating. Scientists later determined that the 2012 solar storm was every bit as intense as the Carrington one. The only reason we were spared was pure luck. But here's the thing, we might not get so lucky next time. Sunspot activity tends to follow 11-year cycles, and scientists warn that as the Sun reaches its next period of peak activity, the chances of other massive storms increase significantly. Space weather experts constantly monitor the Sun 24/7, tracking sunspots and flares, hoping to provide early warnings of any serious eruptions. NASA and the European Space Agency have even launched dedicated solar observation satellites to give us those crucial hours or possibly even days of preparation if another storm were likely to head our way. But here's the chilling reality behind it all. Even with all of our impressive modern technology, we can't stop a solar storm. All we can do is prepare and brace for its impact, hoping for the best. The Carrington Event was a chilling warning from history, a reminder that no matter how advanced we've become as humans, we're still very much at the mercy of our own sun. If another storm of Carrington's magnitude strikes, will we be ready? Or will we be plunged back into technological dark ages, left scrambling to pick up the pieces of our broken civilization? Well, time will tell, because one thing is certain. The next solar superstorm isn't really a question of if, it's a question of when.